Yep. So it's on my.
Hello, hello, hello. We
Hey.
are here. We're back. We are back with another live episode of the Chanell Love 22 podcast. This
Yes.
episode is very special and comes at a very special time. It is more than a man, the silent battles of manhood. So we are today discussing those silent battles, manhood, and things that men have to deal with in light of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and also what's coming up, LaToya, this
Man,
weekend.
it is Father's Day. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Happy
So
early
yeah,
Father's Day to your boyfriends, your husbands, your uncle, your neighbor, your
Your
cousin, your
brother.
son, your boo thing on the side. Everybody deserves a
Side
happy
piece.
Father's Day.
We don't have no side piece.
No, no,
Just
no.
saying.
Joking. JK, JK. But really, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. This special episode, Miss Sweet Tea MP definitely had in mind for you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in today with the Bloodwork Besties and Miss Ina Bruce. We're super excited.
Hey. It's
all right. Miss Ina is our special guest today, and this is Miss Ina Bruce, right? And she is a powerhouse in men's health and the founder of Apex Men's Wellness, where she helped men optimize their hormones, metabolism, and overall vitality through personalized and evidence-based care. What makes her stand out is she does not treat numbers. She treats the whole entire man, right? From low testosterone to sexual health, hair loss, burnout.
Mhm.
Ina's approach gets results, and she's here tonight to share with you guys how that is done and give her insight and help us out with this discussion, right?
Yes.
Welcome, Miss Ina.
Welcome,
hey, hey. Thank you so much for having me. I am truly honored to be here for a conversation that's long overdue. As she said, my name is Aina Bruce. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I'm the founder of Apex Men's Wellness. We're in Flower Mound, Texas. I work specifically with men who feel like they've lost their edge. So essentially, physically, mentally, hormonally, and I help them get it back. So, what I've seen in my practice is this: like men are silently carrying a burden that no one's asking about, right? So they're
Mhm.
exhausted, they're checked out, they're struggling with
Mhm.
performance, drive, and identity, but they're taught to just suck it up and push through it and like never show weakness. So that model is clearly failing them. I mean, it's failing their families as well. So tonight, I want to speak directly to the men who are tired of feeling tired and the women who see it and feel it too. So thank you guys again for having me over. This is wonderful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you did touch on a little bit of what I will be discussing as well, just how men carry that burden, the silent struggles that men carry, emotional, financial, hormonal, and the
Mhm.
need to break the silence around mental health. Um, so men often feel pressured to be providers, protectors,
Mhm.
be emotionally available,
Mhm.
strong, all while suppressing their own struggles, their own emotions. You often hear that men are emotionally unavailable,
Mhm.
um, and that they are suppressing how they truly feel, or they just don't really share how they truly feel, right? There's
Yes.
not always a safe space
Yeah.
for
Yes.
men, or they don't always feel like they have a safe space. So I just want to bring awareness to that, and then also offer my services, of course, because I do provide a safe space, but just let men know that that is something that is okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to need that safe space. It's
Yeah.
okay to feel overwhelmed, and it's okay to not carry that in silence. And well, it's okay, yeah, not carry that in silence, and to
Yes.
open up, to
Absolutely.
ask for help, or just for someone to listen. Either
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
to get the weight off of you,
Basically,
off of your
there's strength in seeking support and seeking help.
right.
That's
Yeah,
Mhm.
not weakness. That's there's strength in this.
Absolutely. And that's what's so beautiful, is that we as women, it seems to be a little bit easier for us to actually talk to someone. We're talkers, we're emotional, right? So it's easier for us to open up and talk to someone. And what I really have a deep passion for is the fact that I know that men are also carrying burdens. They're living in the same world, right? They're facing a lot of the same realities that we are. And so to know that they too are carrying these burdens, but they're not, verbalizing as much as we do. So again, they are carrying it in silence, and then they begin to feel these ailments in their body and experience these different things, and they want to keep that silent as well. So this is definitely an amazing platform to open up that conversation with a double board certified psychiatric mental health family nurse practitioner and a men's testosterone and hormone. And it's so many wonderful things that you do, Ina, that
Yeah,
men actually have that safe space to come in and say, hey, not only am I dealing with this in my mind, but now I'm dealing with these things in my body that I really haven't told anybody about. So that is a beautiful space to open up to men. So it makes me just very pleased to be
that's
in this
the
space with you guys.
that's the one thing I like to emphasize because I like to tell my patients if you're just looking for testosterone, I'm just not the provider for you.
Mm,
Because I'm not a testosterone mill. That's not what I do. You know,
yeah,
the testosterone is a wonderful tool, just like GLP-1s are, just like several other peptides are. But that's it. They're tools, and tools can only go so far. You still have to do your part, and we definitely have to see what else is going on there.
sure.
So I'm not about temporary fixes because guess what? Then you're gonna come back and you didn't fix me. You didn't. Well, I didn't promise I was going to do that. I promised we're going to work together. We're going to look at what's wrong, and we're going
Yeah.
to do a root cause type of approach. So
Mm, mm.
Yeah, and speaking on that root cause, Latoya, I know that you also look at it, sorry, from a different aspect when
Mm-hmm.
you have men that you are seeing or evaluating who may have complaints of like low libido, erectile dysfunction, or just whatever it is that they have going on, hair loss.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I know that you focus more on like overall lab work, but
Yeah.
something that kind of triggers those things could be
Right.
what, like thyroid
Thyroid for
issues.
sure, because I mean,
Yeah.
think about where the thyroid hormone comes from. I mean, this is like brain centered, right? So when you think about the chemicals that your body's releasing when you're super stressed, right? So that is definitely going to have an effect on what's happening in your brain. So
Mm-hmm.
it affects your chemicals like your serotonin, like your dopamine. And so when it's off, you start to feel anxious or you feel depressed. Right, your brain is foggy. You might feel sluggish. You might not want to go hang out with your homeboys, with your friends as much as you used to. And then it starts to also impact your testosterone levels, right? Your liver function. And so when your thyroid function drops, it basically becomes a snowball effect where all of these other things drop too. So you got mood changes, you got the low libido, like you're not interested in your girl anymore, in your wife anymore. You're not interested even in dating anymore. You might be the guy who likes to stay at home in the dark room with the TV on, but your life, you're starting to see that things are different. People around you are starting to see that things
right,
are different. And you're like, no, I'm just kind of going through things. So that's why in holistic medicine, we don't just treat one symptom. Like we step back, we find the root cause, like Ina said. And often thyroid is actually a major key behind that. So I know what I want to know, like what's happening with you, like the guys who come in that you see. This is a
hmm
safe space. We know that it's privacy, but what is it that you're seeing? What mostly do the men present with who come to see you?
good point. That's a really good point. So I like to say it's not just stress, it's not just aging, it's hormones. So men, they will think that it's just work stress or aging. And the thing is, like, no, you're not just tired. You're hormonally depleted. So what I hear from men every day is like, I'm just stressed. I'm getting older. It's normal to feel like that, right? I'm like, the truth is, no, it's not normal to feel tired all the time. Of
Yeah.
course, a certain degree of that tiredness is normal, but it's not normal to snap at your kids, to avoid your partner in bed, or to drag yourself through a day like a zombie. You know, that's
Oh.
not aging. That's hormone imbalance or
Mm.
inflammation. That's
Oh, say that
depletion.
again. Say it again. That was good.
Inflammation.
Uh-huh.
That's depletion. It's
Yes.
like 100% fixable. And I also am like,
Yes.
we're here with the right support. It's 100% fixable. It's like you don't
Mhm.
need another energy drink. You don't need another
Ooh.
motivational podcast. You need real answers. Like you need to start with labs. You need a proper evaluation, and you need a personalized plan that's built around you. So what is really going on under there? Because it's so, I mean, there's countless guys, the third low libido. I just feel sluggish. I had a guy told me like I've never felt less of a man because he was just like so
Oh.
low. And they think this is normal. Aging, yes, is normal. Nobody expecting you to have the levels that you had at 18 years old,
Mhm.
but you don't gotta suffer through aging either, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so true. And some of the common stressors that men deal with that, can help contribute to some of these symptoms and things that they are experiencing, of course, is just being the rock for the family. Being the rock for the family without support, job instability, career pressure, sacrificing rest and joy just to maintain the home, also mental burnout, emotional numbness, fatigue, feeling irritable. It really just makes you question who's supporting the one who carries everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no one there for that person. I always talk about how you pour into someone or pour into something and no one's pouring into you, or you're going to end up with an empty cup. So surrounding yourself with people who are reciprocating or at least pouring into you in some type of way so that you can refill yourself, rejuvenate, regain, whatever strength it is that you put forth every day so that you're able to show up and show out every day. But having that support is so important because a lot of times people don't know that they're like to that burnout point till it's like they're
Too
there.
late. It was
Yeah,
too late.
I'm here now, and they didn't even recognize that it was getting that bad until they were in that space. And now it's like, how did I get here? How do I get out of here? And the hardest thing to do is to pull yourself from a dark space like
Right.
that mentally is just a difficult task. So yeah, I agree with you guys.
I like how you mentioned like the common stressors and things like that, because that's actually a really big issue. Common stressors that will mask low T. Like sometimes you're grinding for like 10 to 12 hours, you're barely sleeping, and you're assuming your exhaustion is what is basically, it's just from the hustle. But if
Right,
your testosterone is low, no amount of vacation or sleep is going to bring your energy back. Sometimes
right,
raising your kids, fatherhood is stressful. It's a blessing, but it's stressful. And the
right,
sleep deprivation, the constant demands, the shift in identity, they can make men think that their low motivation is or irritability is just dad mode when really it's just hormone depletion. Or high stress marriage is another common stressor that masks as low T. Weight gain and poor nutrition. Like I just can't seem to lose fat. I just can't seem to put lean muscle mass on. As these are all signs and symptoms that your testosterone could possibly be low. You know.
Wow, and you said a mouthful, Ina. Both of you ladies, like with the guys, when I think about this from a perspective of, not being in a situation, right? Like as providers, we take ourselves out of their situation, and when you're listening to their lifestyle and what they're telling you they're doing, like a man who grinds, right? He's going for the money. He wants to make the money. And it's like, okay, so where does that thought even come from? What are you trying to, who are you comparing yourself to? And what are you trying to keep up with? Like, is it someone that you're pursuing that you want to appear that you have a certain amount of money? Is it because you come from poverty and so you want to make sure that you live better than the way that you were raised? Like, what's the root cause again of you, doing that, of you feeling like you have to work and work and work and work? What does that look like for you? Why is that even a mindset of yours? Because the body does not recognize good stress from bad stress, right? So
Right.
you're working 5 jobs, but your body doesn't realize, oh, we're making a lot of money. Come on, sales, let's go out
Keep
and
going.
make this some money. Your body doesn't know that. Your body just knows that you are sleep deprived, you're not resting, you're not eating well, right? That's all your body recognizes. But you get a payday, you get a lot of money, but now you're too tired to even spend the money.
Right.
So it's like that's another cover up in a way of someone who is actually, for that man, it's a lot deeper than that. It's a lot deeper. And I'm not saying that there should be a negative connotation associated with someone who wants to make money. What I'm saying is, if you find yourself like that's the center of your life, that's all you can do and all you can think of, your mindset, it runs a lot deeper than just you making that money, right? It runs a lot deeper than that. So there's a root cause to everything. So, evaluating your space and the people who are around you and all of that has a lot to do with your lifestyle, your mindset, because all of that is going to drive how you care for yourself.
Right. And I'm glad
Right.
you kind of touched on mindset, because I wanted to touch on we're talking about like men with low libido or experiencing erectile dysfunction or just dealing with things that are heavy. So we rarely hear a man saying that he's depressed, right? So depression, trauma, all of these things can be passed along through generations, right? We hear about how genes express different genes and can be passed along and still show up. Some of your traumas can show up down the line in your expressed in a gene within your child, or you carry the trauma from how your parents raised you based on how they were raised, and it may have been traumatic, and that may have seemed normal in your household, even if it's not normal. But that's something that we deal with, especially in the African American community, because therapy is like unheard of, taboo,
Taboo.
things that we just don't do. Men
Mm-hmm.
are raised with silent emotional expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to man up. They're supposed to not cry. They're supposed to not
Mm-hmm.
feel, you
Mm-hmm.
know, especially young boys. It's like, what are you crying for?
Yes.
When they don't even know what to do with their emotions, you're telling them to suppress it. Like, stop crying, don't feel. So childhood trauma, witnessing dysfunction within the household, but still being told to keep going, like, this is how we do, this is just how it is, you take that and you keep going with it. So over time that burden carries over into adulthood, right? And then you have adults with the inability to express their needs or inability to create boundaries within relationships, which leads to, of course, in some situations, people pleasing or people overstepping their boundaries, and you not having those boundaries in place to protect your peace. Explosive or anger from years of internalized pain. Of course, things just build up over time, and it's only so
Yes.
much someone could take. I know we all heard the term what is Tupac. I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
We quoting Tupac now?
Tupac, girl.
Don't
At
get me
the
started.
end, people snap. Like, you got to be careful how you treat people. I always tell people, somebody, it just, in like in traffic, just you hear all these things that go on in
Oh
the
yeah.
news. People, you blew your horn, somebody cut you off, and somebody's getting shot. Like, you
Yeah.
really have to be careful how you handle people on a daily basis. People
Yes.
are mentally unstable, and you just don't know when
You
you have
have no
pushed
idea.
someone. So just being mindful of everybody's mental health, everybody's struggles. It's a tough time right now. So
Mm-hmm.
even financially, people are struggling. So just being mindful of that, and over time things do build up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to bring awareness to how that can lead to depression. And of course, men are not emotionally um connected enough to be like, oh, I'm depressed, oh, we just
Mm-hmm.
kind of brush that off to the side. So emotions can also lead to those symptoms that you were touching on, Ina, about the them having lack of libido, or just feeling like they're not themselves. And like
Yeah.
you said, someone feel like I'm less of a man, or I haven't felt
Yes.
this way in a long time. So
Yeah.
having a safe outlet is something that's very, very important.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Well, the thing also is like the people who love you, they'll notice, you know.
Mhm.
Men sometimes they don't realize their families feel the ripple effect, you know. Like when you suffer in silence, your whole household suffers with you.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna speak to the men listening. If you think you're hiding your struggle well, you're not. Your kids notice, your wife feels the distance, your coworkers can tell, but
Yeah.
more than that, you feel it, you know. So it's kind of like you're a shell of who you used to be, and deep down you know it. You've lost your joy, your
Mhm.
confidence, your edge, but you know the good news is you can absolutely get it back, but
Yeah.
not by doing what you've always been doing. And also for the women, if you love a man who's not himself, encourage him to reach out. You know, he doesn't have to figure this out alone.
Right.
The other thing that I really like to also emphasize is your blood tells the truth, right?
Mhm.
So men are told your lab, and it's not just men in general,
Yeah.
conventional medicine, your labs are normal, but
Yeah.
you still
Girl.
feel awful, you know? So the three of us here, I know for sure, we don't guess. We test and then we
Yes.
fix it, you know?
Ooh.
Like just it breaks my heart that
Would you
when
say that again, Ina?
That's a song.
you don't guess, we test and then we fix it.
Come on. Bars.
So
In that order, right?
yeah, it breaks my heart that when I see men who've been told their labs are fine, when in reality they've only had half of the picture painted, half of the picture
Right.
tested. At sometimes they haven't even had the right biomarkers tested, you know. So a lot
Mhm.
of traditional providers don't look at the full picture. They don't look at the
Mhm.
full panel, like actual include a free testosterone, actual include DHEA,
Yeah.
SHBG, inflammation markers, you know, because you can give someone testosterone all you want, but if their body is riddled with inflammation, cellular stress, metabolic
Girl.
dysregulation, it's like you got to get this information. That's where the real story lives, you know. So when I
Exactly.
show men their results, they finally understand why they've been feeling so off, and they finally see a path forward. In that moment,
Yeah.
honestly, it's powerful. So I say if your labs are normal, but your life feels anything but, reach out and we'll walk you through what your body is really telling you.
Hmm.
Oh
And it's
gosh.
that
Yeah.
aha moment, huh?
Yeah,
That
it's
aha.
just like I had one. I was like, no, you are not crazy. Yes, your body's fighting you,
Yes,
Hmm.
exactly. And you
but
and
we
you
can work together and get to the bottom of it.
but what's
Right.
so amazing though is that, and I don't know if it's this new trend. I'm not, I can't really speak for that because I'm not a man, but the solution
You don't
is
have boy
supposed to
parts,
be,
you can help them.
yes, but the solution they're saying is supposed to be testosterone for a man.
Mm.
That's what so many men who have come to me, that's what they say. Well, do you
They're
think it's my
looking for.
testosterone? Do you think it's
Hmm.
my testosterone? And I'm like, okay, so what makes you think that? Well, I read this and I was looking at this and it said it could be my testosterone. Maybe I need more. And that's what they're seeking because that makes them feel more like a man, to feel like
Right.
they have the testosterone, they have that hormone that's going to help them sexually, that's going to help them feel stronger, that's going to help them, go to the gym. And I'm like, well, how about this? If testosterone is the actual issue, we can look into other options, but let's find out what is really causing you to not want to deal with your girlfriend anymore, or what's causing you to really feel like now you're a bad father when I know you spend most days with your children and you're
Hmm.
working two jobs. So where is that all stemming from? But that has really been, what I've seen as a trend. Ina, how's that been for you when people come in? Do they just come in and say, hey, give me some testosterone, and then you have that
I,
conversation with them like you just had? How does that go usually?
so for me in my practice, I've actually noticed the opposite, but I think it's because of how I position myself. So they already
Mm,
know, like I'm not the sauce from mill. Like they already know coming to me, that's not all I'm gonna do. Just with my how I structure my consultation and all of that. I'm just
mm,
like they have to know. They are like they know, okay, I'm not just going to get testosterone. I can just go to Joe Bull next door
yeah.
they can give it to me.
Yeah.
So they already know. But if even if they didn't, usually the conversation. I don't know if I ever told y'all when I had the visit from the DEA. They came, two agents, and they asked me, and I was like, one of them asked me, so you're just gonna give everybody testosterone? I was like, not if they don't need it. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. You gotta be responsible, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about us and what we provide is, even if I did have a client just last week, LaToya, you just mentioned that I had to check his testosterone because same complaints, right? But even if your testosterone is low, we are trying to figure out why.
Why?
Right? We want to get to the
Yes.
why. We want to understand what's off in your body, like you mentioned, inflammation, toxins, your
Right.
thyroid is off, something is not functioning at that optimal level, and
Yeah.
something is making you not produce testosterone as
Exactly.
you should.
Or it
So
dampens the effect. It's not.
yeah, or it's not,
You
yeah,
end up requiring more and more. It's like if your cells are stressed, they can't pull that
They're
in.
not pulling
They
it
can't
up.
use it properly.
Mm-mm.
So what
right.
They
else
just
are you
homeless.
doing
They
that
in your
or
blood
needs to be
homeless.
fixed? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're homeless. They have no home. Like the testosterone, you get it, okay, and it has nowhere to go. And
Right.
it was one particular person. This wasn't a client of mine, but they really stand out in my mind. They had these other health issues going on. So we're having a general conversation, and we kind of talked a little bit about what I did. And they're like, "Oh, well, I go get my testosterone, and I go get this." And I'm like, with all due respect, though, you're walking around with the patch on your arm that's supposed to manage your blood sugar and give you the insulin that you need, but you're going to get testosterone. So what I'm looking at is you're insulin resistant, which
Right.
now I know you're testosterone resistant. So your
Resistance.
cells are not picking up anything. And honestly, it did not have that great of an effect on his sex life. This is
Right.
a conversation that we're having. He's having it with me because, I'm a provider and he knows that I'm, holistic medicine and all of that. And so he ended up telling me, and I said, so what is the point of you actually going to get the testosterone? And it was because he would actually it had a good effect on him first thing in the morning. But for the
Mhm.
rest of the day, he may as well not have ever even gotten the testosterone because his cells wasn't picking it up. So it really didn't have that great of an effect on his dating life or his self-esteem as a man. But he still went and got it because it made him feel like a man to say, I'm getting testosterone.
I think that also highlights something that's really important, which is, and I don't mean to be like offensive or anything to provide it, but there are people who don't know what they're doing as far as testosterone goes. Like, I will not, if when I was first learning, you make all these mistakes, but once you've educated yourself, you sought some more knowledge and all. Um, there are certain things, like I said, testosterone is a tool. If it's there to enhance the man that you could be, it's there to enhance the life that you want to live, but you still got to do work. I tell you, if you're not going to lift at least 3-4 times heavy, don't even waste my time or yours, because you're not going to see the results. So you still have to do your part. And there's a lot of people who, just
Everybody wants quick fixes, right?
quick fixes. Exactly. And I'm like,
Microwaved.
you just, and there's just some people who prescribe it inappropriately, and
Mm-hmm.
testosterone then gets a bad rap.
Yes.
But testosterone is amazing. It's good for
Yes.
protection with your brain, your
Mm-hmm.
bones, heart. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful uh medication. But
Right.
people need to know what they're doing with it. You got to know to go
Yeah.
to a knowledgeable provider that knows what they're doing, not someone that's just going to say, "Oh, okay, so yeah, your testosterone is low, but if you don't fix anything else here, it's going to work." No, it's not going to. Don't waste.
No.
Don't. You still got to do your part. You still got to exercise. You still got to eat. It's just going to enhance the results, but you still
Right.
absolutely have to do what you're doing. And again, they need to know how to. There's more to prescribing testosterone. There's people prescribing once a week, which I don't agree with at all. So essentially, there's a lot more to prescribing testosterone. And if you want to come to someone who knows what they're doing, well,
There you go. That's what I
Hey,
so
rep your business,
that's right.
girl.
Now this is the
Look,
question going off in my head. With the testosterone, is that the same concept? Let me just say it because I'm thinking it. Is it the same concept for the penis injections? Come on. Come on.
no.
Come on.
So
the P shot, is that what it's called?
Yes. So
Yeah.
actually, you brought up something that I will be um, I have brought to my clinic and we'll be having for people coming up very soon, in a couple of weeks or so.
Mhm.
So there's really no medication that's called like testosterone P shot. So but there seems to be like a lot of a mix up between
Yes.
patients that think that they describe testosterone therapy with the P shot for enhanced sexual function. So testosterone is primarily a male sex hormone. That is responsible for libido, energy, muscle mass, motivation,
Mhm.
sexual performance. So what TRT does is replenishes low testosterone levels, improves libido and mental clarity, increases muscle mass, reduces body fat. So it works systemically, right? It improves your sexual health, desire, drive, and energy from the inside out. Well, P shot is pre-opus shot, and that's a trademark term that was invented by Dr. Runnels from the Cellular Medicine Association. And it's the P shot. It's an in-office procedure. You use your own PRP. That the PRP stands for platelet-rich plasma, and it's injected into a specific area of the penis to enhance the blood flow and tissue regeneration. So what the P
Mhm.
shot does is improves erection firmness, duration, increases penile blood flow and sensitivity. It might actually help with the curvature of Peyronie's disease. And some patients actually report mild increase in girth and sensation. So that one, it works locally. It targets
What's the girth?
the thickness.
Okay.
All right.
For you.
LaToya, she crazy. So, like I was saying, one is systemical, works systemically, and P shot works locally. So it targets the penis directly by improving the vascular health and nerve sensitivity and tissue repair. So these two, when combined, the especially if testosterone alone is not resolving the ED issues, think of it like TRT turns the engine back on
Oh.
and the P shot upgrades the plumbing and the wiring. So they're right. That's right. So they're
So
both
a new car, huh?
yes.
Yes,
So
you
they're
get a
both
car. You
powerful.
get a car.
You get- they're both powerful, but they serve
Yes.
different tools. But together, they do offer a more complete sexual health optimization plan. So yeah,
Wow. Listen to that. Who don't want a better sexual optimization
and
plan?
natural because it comes from your own. So
Right.
PRP is basically platelet-rich plasma. We
So
we
they essentially draw your blood, right?
Yes.
Tell
So
us, tell us.
it's a healing component derived from your own blood. So
Right.
after we do a quick blood draw, we spin your sample in a specialized centrifuge to concentrate the natural growth factors. And those factors, those growth factors, are what stimulates collagen. They improve circulation. They support tissue repair. So that's why we use it on vampire facials. You know, you get reduced lines, brighten your skin, smooth acne scars. It just restores a healthy glow, you know?
Mhm.
And well, hair, we use it for hair restoration. PRP what they do is they stimulate dormant hair follicles and they support stronger, thicker growth. So it's ideal for like early thinning or postpartum hair. It's and again, it's drug and surgery free. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So, let me help the people in the back because Ina is smart. Okay. And Ina uses smart words. So Ina, are you saying they take your blood from you? You take the sample from the person,
Yep,
put it in a little blood sterile container,
yep.
clean,
Goes
put
in
it
the
in
blood.
a machine, they spin it
Mhm.
around, and then
We
what
take
else?
the top part, so the bottom is the red blood cells.
So it
The
Uh-huh.
top,
separates.
yeah,
Take the top part,
that's what the
it'll
centrifuge
separate.
does. The
Okay.
centrifuge is the machine that spins it. What it
Yes.
does is it will separate the platelet-rich plasma from the red blood cells.
So
So
that's on the
then,
top.
yep. So
Mhm.
then we take out that platelet-rich plasma with appropriate kit that comes with
Another
the
clean
whole
kit. You
set.
take the
Yeah.
plasma out. Okay.
Yep. And then we put it back in whatever area you're trying to treat, whether you're trying to
They
treat your
use
hair. Yes,
your
it's
blood to
your
heal
own blood.
you.
Yep. So no allergies there, no risk of allergy, no risk of infections. Just minimum reaction at the most. Maybe you'll get, what do you call it? Not bleeding, but
Inflammation?
No, bruising. You know,
Bruising.
Bruising from the injection, like
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
So those are the
So
side effects you expect: bruising, a
so
little bit of
we
pain.
want to make sure that our blood is clean so we
Yeah,
can take our blood to heal different parts of our body. Are we
exactly.
hearing this, people,
I'm
in the
so
social
glad you
media
mentioned
streets?
that because the
Oh,
quality of the results are only as good as your blood.
oh, get your
Oh,
root cause
so you would
analysis.
need a root cause.
Get
Yes,
your root cause
Blood
analysis,
yes.
people.
So you say, so you come to us, each one of us,
Yes.
and we tell you, you got a lot of inflammation going, or you got
Yes.
a lot of your body's in metabolic acidosis or whatever. The
Parasites.
environment's too acidic.
Look,
You
there she go
want
with
to
them
fix
words.
that. You
See?
want
She's smart. She's smart.
basically your
Say
body's
you
jacked up.
got some toxins built up. You got some parasites,
Right?
inflammation.
You got all these bad things. You gotta first fix that before you
That's
put it
right.
back. Because otherwise, it's just a never-ending cycle of bad.
Wow.
Right, right.
Wow. I know
Yeah,
that's
I told
amazing.
that's good. That is
Oof.
amazing. And so Ina, does it have the what do they call? Is it like stem cells within the platelets that kind of stimulates the growth of the new hair follicles, or how does that work? Do you know, like, if like when they inject the platelet rich
Mhm.
plasma, are is the like is it your own stem cells
So
within?
yes,
Yeah.
so PRP does not contain stem cells.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so platelets are rich in growth factors, right? And
Growth
then
factors.
then
Okay.
the plasma, so platelet-rich plasma, and then the
Mm-hmm.
plasma, that's the liquid, the portion of the blood that's carrying
Mm-hmm.
proteins, nutrients, and
Gotcha.
electrolytes.
Okay.
So a small number of white blood cells will sometimes also be circulating
Mm-hmm.
in that blood. But what PRP does is it works by recruiting your own body stem cells to that area. Okay.
Wow. So it
So
Okay.
calls parts of your body
yeah,
that
so
will
when
help heal your
injected,
body.
mhm,
Okay.
so when injected, like the P shot or the vampire facial or joint or even joint therapy, I don't do that, but
Wow.
PRP is using that too. The growth factors essentially they signal your body to repair tissue, grow new blood vessels, stimulate collagen. So think of PRP like a call to action. So it doesn't bring stem cells in, but it tells your body's existing stem cells
Come
where to
here.
go and what to do. Yeah.
Come help this hair. Come help this hair
Yeah.
grow. Come help
Yeah.
this penis girth. Come
Yeah.
help this face glow.
Right. Right.
And it's
This
like,
hair. Yep.
yes, come help this. And it's like, okay, so we've heard of blood transfusions where you use someone else's blood to
Right.
maybe
Mm-hmm.
increase your volume or, increase your red blood count. But we're talking about using your own clean blood to heal your own body, to grow your own hair, to make your own skin glow, to increase
Yeah.
the
Right.
girth.
Yeah. So it's effective because it tells your body like where to heal and
Mhm.
how to regenerate. So it's your natural growth factors doing all the heavy lifting and it's safely and powerful. Yeah.
It's very powerful. That
Yeah.
is
That's
wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
your own natural growth factors are communicating with your body once you inject the PRP, saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's go fix this. Let's
Go
go
repair this
Wow.
tissue.
strengthen that." Yeah, that is
Go get
amazing.
this.
Wow.
Go create these grow new blood vessels. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, and you know what? What I can see that being amazing for a lot of my clients, for those of you who are listening, like whenever you're working with the body to help, cleanse the body, to help your thyroid be able to, do those things, right? Go to your skin, tell it to grow. Go to your gut,
Right.
tell it, hey, move a bowel movement. Go to your hair, tell it to grow. Your skin, all of that, and your nails tell it to grow. So now while we're in that process of, clearing out the inflammation, clearing out your root cause, you are becoming cleansed. So now we know that this is an option for you during that time, right? Like that's an option
Absolutely.
Yep.
where they can actually have their own clean blood now helping them to, show the world that, hey, I'm healing, because you're cleaning their blood and they can have this done.
So PRP in holistic functional medicine, it aligns well because you're using your patient's own blood, right? There's no foreign substances. It's
Yeah.
encouraging the body to repair and regenerate naturally. You're avoiding drugs,
Yeah.
surgery whenever possible. In the context of functional medicine, PRP can be part of, say, a whole body optimization strategy,
Yeah.
especially when it's combined with nutritional support for collagen and vasculature health.
Yeah.
Vasculature, just mean blood vessel
Yeah.
health.
Yeah.
Um, Gut healing to improve absorption of
Yeah.
regenerative nutrients, detox, and anti-inflammatory
Yeah.
protocols. So it doesn't, and as far as thyroid goes, it does not treat thyroid disorders directly, like
Right.
hypothyroidism,
Right.
but the thyroid can influence the effectiveness of PRP.
Yes. That's what I'm
So that's how they're
saying.
connected.
Yes.
If you have poor thyroid function, that slows healing.
Yes.
Well, hypothyroidism, for example, reduces collagen production, right? It
Mm-hmm.
reduces circulation, reduces tissue repair.
Yeah.
So it makes PRP less effective if the thyroid levels aren't optimized. You know,
Right. Right. If
thyroid also affects hair, skin, sexual function. If someone is losing hair or has vaginal dryness or ED from low
yeah.
thyroid, those root causes must be addressed alongside with PRP to get lasting results.
Right.
So, autoimmune or inflammation issues. So
Yes.
if there's chronic inflammation or autoimmunity, that can interfere with PRP's regenerative response again. So, functional medicine tools like gut healing, stress
Yeah.
management, micronutrient support, they
Yeah.
are all keys to optimizing outcomes. No.
So this is amazing. For you guys that are just joining, we are talking about some amazing body healing stuff here. Like Miss Ina Bruce is really bringing down the house with this PRP. You know, it's so amazing. Now, Sweet Tea, how do you think this would or could help and Ina, how do y'all feel like this could work together with someone who's maybe dealing like with depression, anxiety, maybe in the process of healing that? That's y'all specialty. What are y'all feeling? What do you think? Is there a correlation in any way? Maybe how one can impact the other?
Well, I feel like, of course, we talking about anxiety, depression, but depression, low self-esteem, all of those things can also stem from a guy's hair loss or a guy's inability to perform. So 1 in 4 men under 40 report erectile dysfunction.
Yep.
And then by the age of men over 40, approximately 40% of men over 40, and 70% of men over 40 have erectile issues and
Mm,
at some point by the age of 70.
mm-hmm.
um but
Sure.
the thing that I feel like how it ties into, like she was talking about, the platelet rich plasma, or
Mm-hmm.
just the things to restore your hair loss, that helps boost self-esteem. So if you're in a bad head space, you feel like you're not yourself, like you said, that client you had felt like he wasn't a man or able to perform or
Yeah.
whatever is making him feel that way. So these things that she's offering and mentioning can help restore those physical things to help boost your self-esteem, help you feel
Yeah.
better about yourself and not be in such a dark space. I
Safely.
think that, yeah, I think that it's an excellent package to go along with your, like you said, the root cause
Yes.
work analysis, the functional medicine, the whole natural approach to healing and becoming your best version of yourself, because
Yeah.
that's the whole goal, right? Like
Right.
we look at
Self
your
actualization.
we look at your entire health,
Yes.
mental health, physical health, spiritual. We want you good on all levels. So what I was going to ask Ina, what is the range that you kind of look for people who are like saying, "Oh, my testosterone's low." Um, is there a certain range that you kind of want your clients to be at with that?
So that really depends on the age.
Yeah.
Okay.
that really depends on age, but I can tell you for what insurance thinks is a normal range. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
The range literally goes from 300 to 1,000.
So you
That's
could be
very
anywhere
wide.
with
Exactly. You
That's
could be
very wide.
anywhere in there.
you could be
Now, how
anywhere
is
with
that optimal?
That's
And
very
my
wide.
yeah, so in my t-shirts like that I made for my company, and the one thing I drive when I always drive home is that normal is not optimal. You know, what's optimal for me, I mean, what's optimal for me is not going to be optimal for the next person. You know,
right.
so that's why I don't like giving numbers. I don't like chasing numbers. I don't like giving numbers because then people get fixated on that, and that
Yeah.
depends on a
Like
lot of
I'm not at this level.
right. And
This is
every
yeah,
individual is different.
that's true.
So
Right.
that, but I would say like for a man who's in their 40s, you want to at least 800. But you know, a man who's below 30 or in their 30s, they're probably going to be at 1,000. But that's just total testosterone. It doesn't matter what the total testosterone is if the other two biomarkers, SHBG or in total testosterone, which is the testosterone is actually available for you to use for
Mhm.
sex, for drive, for to exercise, for
Yeah.
energy, all that.
Yeah.
If that's low, you know, it doesn't matter what your total is. So
Yeah.
you have to look at the whole picture, and you
Right.
have to see like why is your testosterone or total testosterone super high, but
Exactly.
then your free is low or SHBG low, and like a big percentage of the time that has to do with your metabolism. You're either
Mm.
overweight, you're not eating properly, so
Ooh.
all other things, you know. So
Mm.
it's just the one people need to stop looking at testosterone like an isolated silo.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Works, and then testosterone is not the only hormone that we need to focus on too. You know, we got
Not.
to focus on
Right.
the thyroid, got to focus on the DHEA for women, progesterone,
Yeah.
you know, estrogen. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's really important. That's the one thing. If nobody else gets anything out of it, testosterone is a wonderful, wonderful tool. It is. It's just that it's a tool, and it has to be used in conjunction with other things, and you must still do
Right.
your part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
That's.
And I just wanted to mention too, also, I remember we talked a lot about um the patient who said he didn't feel himself. Those are kind of silent symptoms of depression in men,
Mm.
along with
Yep,
anger,
yep,
irritability,
yep.
risk taking behavior, substance
Oh.
use, workaholics, or some who like to be in isolation away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't normally say I feel sad. They may say I'm
No.
tired or
Yep.
I'm good. I'm
I don't,
good.
I
It's
don't
I'm
want
a
to be
good
bothered.
all the
I don't want to
time.
it's
be
Yeah.
bothered.
a it's a confidence crash that no one talks about. Like for example, the whole loss of sexual function or being depressed. It's like they're
Mm-hmm.
in silent shame.
Yeah.
So when your body changes, your identity takes a hit. I mean, that's
Right.
just like with us. You something happens and you gain weight, and all of a sudden you start having all these crazy thoughts that you never had before. You know.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
So one of the hardest things men deal with, but rarely talk about, is when what happens when their body stops responding. You know, if they lose their sex drive or their performance suffers, they gain weight, and the that spark that they used to have, like it's gone, and that's devastating. So it changes how they show up at work. It changes how they show up in their marriage, and even how they see themselves in the mirror. It's like a
Mm.
slow, silent erosion of their identity. You know,
Yes.
so what I want every man listening to know that it's not your
Mm-hmm.
fault. It's not weakness. It could be hormonal, it could be metabolic. It's treatable and it's not too late. So we've helped men in their 30s, their 40s, their 50 and beyond feel strong, sharp, sexually confident again. But the first step is asking for help. So fellas,
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And that's it right there. Because I
Mm-hmm.
was just gonna say it's most of the time you can correct it, right? If
right.
you get to the root cause of what's causing it, you can correct it. And men, like you said, walk around without mentioning it or feel like it's a battle that they have to deal with on their own. And that procrastination leads to delayed, healing, or delayed time for them to get back to them optimal selves. And the whole time there's someone like you or LaToya or
For you.
myself who can do that root cause blood work analysis and see what the root cause is and
Yeah.
correct that. So
Yeah.
that was very good. That was very good.
And that's the solution, because that was my next question for all of us. So now that we are able to make men aware that, hey, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you're thinking, yes, you're not being yourself. Yes, there's an actual cause to it. Now, how do we solve that problem? I mean, Ina's given us so much great information. Sweet Tea, you've given us so much great information. But what is the first step for a man that's feeling, that is listening right now, and who's feeling like, you know what, I'm by myself. I can't really say anything to anybody. The expectation is, as Sweet Tea said when we were opening, that men would be strong, that they could carry all burdens of the world, that they're like Superman. How do they get to that place where they're ready to say, you know what, I want some help, or I want someone that will listen?
I
What
like
would be that first step?
really think about it as how much longer can you live like that? You know, what's gonna happen if you don't? 6 months from now, if you're still there, what's gonna happen if you don't do what you are supposed to do? Um, it's safe. I think it's important for just men, women, but since we're talking about men today and honor of men's health and stuff, know that there are providers that are safe out there.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna say that most providers went into this. I know I did because it's a life of service, and we understand that. So most of us know this, and we're just there to help you or to live in your the fullest life that you can, and we're living our calling to help you. So don't feel ashamed, especially. And then there's the whole thing. Oh, why would I go to a woman? Why would I go to her? Because you're still human and we're still human. And you could be my mom, you could be my dad, you could be my brother, you could be my cousin. I want you to be healthy. I want you to live your best life. I want you to show up for the people who love you, you know? So whether it's a woman or it's a man, find you a provider, us, or find you a provider that's safe and it doesn't feels like a safe space to you because we are out there and trust me, we we don't care about the things that you're thinking. Like all the noise that's telling you no, don't go because this, because that. No, just know that we care and we want you to live your best life. Forget
Right.
about all the other noise. Yeah.
Right. Shut down the noise. That's a good one. Because it's so much, right? And a lot of people, including men, live according to the influences that are around them. And again, that goes back to, that's the source of their stress,
Mhm.
so that's amazing to know. And that was a good point as well, Ina. Because I do know people have their preferences when they're choosing a
Right.
healthcare provider,
Right.
right? Some, they
Mhm.
have their preferences. But if, as a man, you're having difficulty, we're not speaking from a man's
Right.
perspective. We're speaking from someone who's able to help you from
Right.
that perspective, having the full confidence, the knowledge, the training, right? The certifications, knowing we can help you. So go to someone who
Yeah.
knows that they can help you, not someone who's going to play around with your life, not someone who's going to play around with your mind, not someone who's going to tell you they can help you just to get your money and you're not
Right.
seeing results. You should see results, and don't trick yourself like the person I spoke about previously into believing that someone's helping you because you got a little bit going, right? It's just a little bit happening,
Right.
right? No, we're letting you know you really have to get down to the nitty gritty of why did this happen? Why did this
And
even start with me?
that's good, LaToya, because in that case, I wanted to bring this up when you mentioned that earlier. The people who are receiving the testosterone shots, and like you guys mentioned, if the testosterone isn't getting used like it should in the body, the cells aren't doing what they're supposed to do on a cellular level. It don't matter how much testosterone you get.
Yeah.
It don't matter how many shots you get, how many milligrams. And the reason that guy probably felt a little bit of excitement or urge in the morning was because in the morning that's your highest level of your natural
Yeah.
testosterone. So now you have that extra testosterone on board and your cells got just a little bit more than what it's used to. So now you got that, yeah, you got that little bit of a boost, but of course you go back down to its normal, what it normally is, and then you're not feeling anything. So it don't matter the level. That's why it's important for the root cause blood work analysis to see what is the reason you are low in testosterone or you're having your symptoms in general. Like that so I think the answer to your question, LaToya, is a root cause blood work analysis. What's the
Starts with the
answer?
blood.
A root cause blood
Blood.
work analysis. Let's
Right.
look at your blood and find the why. And if you can trick yourself into believing that someone's giving you testosterone and it's helping you in the mornings when your natural testosterone is doing that for you, you can surely trick yourself into knowing without the shadow of a doubt that we can find what's really causing you to feel the way that you feel with no guilt, with no shame, in a
Yeah.
very safe space. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
amazing. This is amazing. I've contained
Absolutely.
myself. This is good.
Well, I just want to mention a couple of therapeutic daily things that men could do. Of course, LaToya, we always talk about breath work, right? Breath work is something that to help, like, with daily stress, anxiety. I know it's a lot sometimes to carry that around. So breath work, learning how to use the 4-4-4 method is the one that I like, where you take a deep breath in, hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. Also, walking, I don't know, weightlifting, yoga, just any type of movement, getting yourself moving. I always like to recommend outside, getting that sunlight, because that does
Yeah. The
make it.
vitamin D.
Yeah, that vitamin D makes a difference. Also mindfulness, like, just taking care of yourself, self-care, eating correctly, staying shaved, showered, looking good, that helps boost your self-esteem. And kind of paying attention to your body and feeling where that tension is, or where you're holding tension, because we naturally do that without even thinking about it, especially when you're stressed. A lot of people get tension headaches, and a lot of their pain starts within their neck, or just because of them holding the tension in that place. Also affirmations. I am enough even when I'm still healing. My emotions deserve to be heard.
Be
Rest is not
safe.
a weakness, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I am more than what I provide, and I am worthy of peace. That's a good,
Absolutely.
that's a good one. I am worthy of
Absolutely.
peace.
Definitely worthy of peace for sure. And in a world where there's so much noise, that's
Yeah.
one of those things we kind of get used to. It's always going to be something happening, right? But you are fully in control of your peace, and you are fully in control of where you choose to place this body so
Yeah.
that you can have the peace that you truly desire. So that's definitely something they're in control of, right, Ina?
Yeah. And I always say, you only have one body. What are you going to do with it? One body, one life. What are you going
Mm-hmm.
to do with it? Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. You got to make that conscious choice. Like, it's your
Yeah.
decision, and no one is going to have the respect and love for your body that you have
You
for
can,
yourself. And if you are looking for a solution, understand that that solution is here before you. If you've tapped into this live was for you. If you read on someone's timeline about this live was for you. And if not for you, it's for the man in your life. Send this to
right.
the men in your life so they can understand they are not alone in this world with the way that they feel, and that there are people in this world with the skill set, the ability to help
Right.
them, and help them with a way that works along with their body and not against their
That's the
body,
beauty.
so that you don't feel so terrible whenever we are getting to the root cause, when we're actually doing what's necessary to get to the root cause. This is something that helps you feel better. Even being board certified in family medicine, I still, like to look at side effects to medications, the side chicks. I said that before. It's like, it's something that, you want to have what you need to have so that you can get the effect you want to get. But then the side chick starts to get on your nerves if they start whining a little bit too much. That's what side effects are. They start whining a little bit too much, and now they're getting on your nerves, and you wondering, why, Jesus? Why did I do this to myself? So you have to really, know that there are situations where you can experience love for yourself. You can get, healed holistically, completely, right? And you don't have to deal with that old side chick. She's taking your money anyway.
LaToya and these side chicks.
I got a blind answer. So no.
I was like, you seem fixated on that person.
She always fixated on
Sweetie,
something. I
sweetie,
swear.
you might need an appointment with you.
LaToya, gonna tell her you my client anyway.
That is so true.
I'm just kidding.
So true.
No,
So
but
true.
I do want to say that in closing, of course, you are not alone. The weight was not ever meant to be carried alone.
Yeah.
Reaching out, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's the most honest and strongest thing you can do as a man. And it's okay to put yourself first, put your health first. Always making time for that self-care, being mindful of putting yourself on your calendar. I know it's always like, you're busy, you don't have time. You have to make time, schedule an appointment for yourself, for that self-care, whatever that is like for you. It doesn't have to be spending money or expensive. It could just be you taking a walk by yourself, you sitting alone by yourself, just meditating or praying or whatever it is that you feel like brings comfort to you. Or you scheduling time to be with that person who you feel safe with. Just having time to yourself and time to reflect, time to kind of unwind, helps put your nervous system at rest and not be in that fight or flight moment all the time, all day, because we know how that can be a burden on your organs.
Yes.
And just if you are looking to get a root cause blood work analysis, of course, all of us do offer root cause blood work analysis. I'm Sweet TMP across all platforms. Feel free to inbox, or I have a website as well, eternitywellness22.life. I have free consultations, and those spots are limited. So feel free to fill out a consultation form on there or reach out for a root cause blood work analysis. Ina, do you want to share your platforms or how they can reach you?
Yeah, sure. So whether you're a man, love a man, or raise one, you all deserve a provider that sees the full picture. So at Apex, my clinic, it's Apex Men's Wellness. We create customized plans. We use lab data, clinical insight, and evidence-based therapies that truly work. So it's not about just boosting testosterone, but rebuilding demand underneath the burnout, and I'll be honored to help you get there. You can contact me via my website, www.apexmenswellness.com. You can follow along on Instagram, my handle at Apex Men's Wellness. I also have a TikTok, I'm barely there, so stick with Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, follow along or just shoot me a message, and I'm here and I've got you.
Absolutely. And I am the blood work bestie, the blood work MP, Miss LaToya D Buchanan. I am the blood work MP on Threads, on Instagram, okay, and on TikTok. And I am the blood work nurse practitioner on Facebook, or LaToya D Buchanan. And this is the last week of my free consultations. So after this week, my consultations will no longer be free. So after Sunday, if you are interested in a free consultation to just have me listen to you and kind of get a feel for what's happening with you to see if the root cause blood work analysis is for you, this will be the time for you to click that link in my bio and get this free consultation, because after this week, they will be no more. And I believe I had said a couple months back, my root cause blood work analysis is only $479, or two payments of $250. That will soon be gone as well. So if you are someone who's interested in that root cause blood work analysis, I would say jump on that before July comes in, because the summer is hot and so is my schedule. So please make sure that you get your place in line. Get your place in line, because let me tell you, I mean, all of us ladies, I mean, it is just such an amazing, amazing opportunity to do what we do. And it's so in high demand. And after a while, you know, you really want to be able to see who's really serious about their health. And that's what I love about each one of these ladies. They understand, they know who's serious about their health. And we do all have a passion for root cause blood work analysis. But that is my spiel for tonight. I let Aina be very professional. I hope you guys are all out there very proud of me. And I did what I felt like I could do. But it's been an amazing episode. I was so excited about this. And I'm just so glad, Aina, that you were here with us tonight.
Thank you, ladies. This was amazing, absolutely amazing. Thank you for letting me borrow your platform and to speak some life and health into your listeners. And y'all are just a blast. So hopefully we'll get to do this again. This was amazing.
Absolutely, my blood work bestie. We we absolutely come on. We try to do a live once a month. So we were thrilled to have you on here, Aina, on this episode to bring your expertise. And of course, it came right on time. So I appreciate you, and I'm thankful that you were able to show up today. I appreciate everyone for listening in. Of course, we will be back with another live episode next month. Just look out for that announcement. We normally just throw it out there.
Look out.
We throw it out there and give
follow
you guys
or
a little
follow or fall. Follow or fall.
That's right. Follow or fall. I'm gonna use
follow
that.
or fall. Yes.
But it's always a good time. It's always a good time. Thanks,
always.
Ladies. I appreciate you. Thanks everyone for listening in, tuning in. I hope this really helped out there. And LaToya, I do agree with you, of course, always support you raising your prices because you are worth it, girl. But your time is definitely valuable, and what you get out of that free consultation is so much value, so much insight into your health. And it's just important that we pour in ourselves and our knowledge into someone who is ready to take that step and ready to better themselves or get to the root cause of what's going on with them. So I agree. And like I said, I have limited spots available as well. So
I know you do, because you're selling like hot. They're going like hotcakes.
I actually forgot to mention something. I am doing a model call for the PRP procedures. So, and if you know anything about vampire series, the prices can be a little challenging, but as a model, you'll never get a better discount or rate. So if you're interested, you just contact me, as I said, www.apexmenwellness.com, or you can call 469-934-2032, and we'll get you on that list. And if you go to my page, you'll also see the form. But yeah, get on it, because it's, as you guys learn, it's absolutely amazing and powerful. Yeah.
Okay. Model call, huh?
Yep, model call for hair restoration, facial, vampire facial, P-shot. Yep.
Oh, wow. So women. Oh no, that's the man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would do for the women as well.
I thought that was.
There's a woman version too, and it's actually on that form.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll share the form with you all if you would like to post it on your socials or whatever. But for any of your clients that are local and would like to be a model, so I'll share that with you. I'll tag you.
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in DFW area, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And we do see people. I can see people around the state of Texas and telemedicine if you needed a prescription. It has to be in Texas.
Okay. So cool. Mm-hmm. All right, ladies. Well, it was a joy. It was a pleasure.
Always.
And of course, we'll have to do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And that's it for tonight. Peace out, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Chanell Love 22. It's a vibe. Like, follow, and subscribe. Disclaimer. The information shared on the Chanell Love 22 podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not medical advice. Neither the host, guest, nor the podcast assumes responsibility for any actions taken based on this content. Listeners are strongly encouraged to consult a licensed healthcare provider before making any changes to their health, including medications, supplements, or treatments. This podcast is intended to comply with applicable regulations. However, it is not a substitute for legal or medical advice specific to your location. Listeners outside of the United States should ensure they follow healthcare guidance and regulations relevant to their regions. Thank you for listening, and remember, health is wealth.